guess kind of twofold. For being a 3-5 team, do you feel like the way the schedule has worked out, you're still positioned pretty well? And on that note, how important is just this 3-game stretch at home?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'd like to be better than 3-5, obviously, but um, I think the fact that we've had the hardest conference schedule going forward and where we are and what we have ahead of us, with home games, it's not who you play against. It's just I've always thought it's home games against road games. Yeah, I think it's a big stretch for us, but at the same time, it gives us a chance to get some good wins.
You kind of talked about how you have that big picture kind of rational approach. It's probably easier for you to see that. Is there anything you do to make sure the players just don't let themselves spiral and think things are worse?
No, I mean, I would if they didn't practice and have a great attitude, but we just had a great practice. They have a great attitude. I show them all the KenPom stuff, which ranks conference schedules, who you've played, where they rank, what our defense is, I give them all that information. I show them bracketology. I think it's very important for them to understand. Like kids don't see big picture, so it's an adult's job to inform them and educate them and try to give them the best picture possible. So I've always been very, very open with my teams about where we are and what we have ahead of us.
Now, just going off of that, the showing your team like bracketology, that's something you did back even at Senior Hall.
Yeah, I just didn't start that. Yeah, I mean we've always. I think it's one reason my teams have always played pretty well at the end of January and February is because it's just kind of keeping them focused on where they are, not letting them get down, not letting one loss, be a big deal. Obviously we would love to beat Purdue the other night, but some people can be 3-5 and be down. We're 3-5 and we feel pretty good where we are.
Just going back to the Purdue game, just Julian Reese had 19 points. How important would that be for the team as a whole for him to continue that type of production moving forward?
Yeah, it's huge, especially when you think about. I go back to the last two games, what he's done against Hunter and Zach. To go face two of the elite centers, not only in this conference but in college basketball. I thought he won the Hunter battle, which to me, and even the other night, Zach had an unbelievable night, but I thought he had an unbelievable night. So I thought we won that possession too. So he's healthy. I think he's got a lot of confidence because he's been putting a lot of extra work in, and I think our guys have a lot of confidence in him.
And one last Julian Reese question. It was earlier in the game. I believe he had like a jumper from the free throw line. Is that something you like to see him continue to do more? Is taking like those type of mid range shots?
Yeah, if he's open, he can take them. I've never told him not to shoot the basketball. So we shoot him every day. So if he's open, he's going to shoot him.
With Juju, how important has his improvement in not only dealing with foul trouble but playing with foul trouble? How much of an emphasis has that been, and how much has that helped you guys the past two games?
Yeah, I think he's, the unfortunate thing for a couple of his fouls early in the first halves haven't been ones that he's earned. It's been kind of like he had an illegal screen at Iowa. That was a really tough call. He had a step up. He had an illegal screen, I think, in the Purdue game. A couple of them have been tough, but I think I have a lot of confidence in the fact that he can go out there. Even if he picks up his third, I'm okay because he's smart enough and there's enough timeouts in the second half where he gets breaks. So, and he knows I have confidence in the fact that he'll go out there and he'll play. And he played with two fouls. I think he's played better defense than he has with no fouls because he's still stayed aggressive, but at the same time been smarter about what he's doing.
Coach, what do you like best about your team coming back home into this 3-game stretch?
I've loved their attitude all year. So, I think their attitude's great, their work ethic. I think they're starting to understand how we want to play and how we need to play to win in Big Ten play. I think that's been a huge adjustment for this team because I think Big Ten play kind of to be honest with you, smacked us in the head a little bit to start. And I think they're starting to really understand how we need to play. We can't play like Purdue or we can't play like Wisconsin, how we need to play for us to be successful. I think that's what I like most about them right now.
And what is it about Wisconsin that each and every year they figure out how to get wins in this league?
They have a very unique ability to make everybody play their pace. I've never seen anything like it. They just play their pace. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter who's on the floor. It doesn't matter who's coaching. And Greg's a phenomenal coach. I mean, Bo was there. I played against Bo way back in the day. It was a 5-point game, and I still remember this. It was like crickets in the building because we were making a little bit of run, and they just played their pace. And they have that style that will just grind you up and get you to play at their pace, which is not most teams' tempo. But they do it, and they do it phenomenally year in, year out.
Hey, Coach. No, you mentioned the player. It's been important for you that the players know exactly where they are. And with Wisconsin this Thursday, or tomorrow actually, do they know? Obviously, they handed you guys your first loss of the season. Do you guys have the players that feel like any kind of chip on their shoulder knowing that, or does that affect them at all going into tomorrow?
I don't think so. We watched the game, so they obviously know we lost. But I don't know if this generation kind of does that, to be honest with you. I've always sensed, since everyone knows each other through AAU and have played each other, it's almost like an NBA game after games. Like everybody shakes hands and smiles and stuff. So I don't think they have that. They know how important the game is from a standpoint of winning or losing, but I don't think they go back there and say they gave us our first loss. So I don't know if kids are like that anymore. Just because of, I think the way they grow up is so much different playing the game than when my generation grew up playing the game.
And what would you say at this point in the season? What is like the genetic makeup of your team? What is your team identity?
You got to ask a basketball coach a much simpler question. I have no idea what our genetic makeup is. Break that down for me.
Or I guess those are probably, I could have used easier words,
Yeah.
but my bad on that.
I graduated from Pitt, so you got to be easy on me.
Your team, what is who are they at this point?
No, I think this group is a group of guys that plays extremely tough, that has been extremely resilient all year long. For a new group that has just come together, I think they have formed a really good bond and have played a very physical style of basketball, even though we're not an overly big physical basketball team. But I think they are. They've showed a lot of resilience. We've gotten smacked around a couple times, where I think a lot of teams might have not showed up the next day and battled the way this team has come back every time that we've taken a bad loss, we've had a tough loss. This team has showed a tremendous amount of toughness to come back and keep fighting.
Hey, Coach, with the struggles from three this year, have you made an emphasis to the guys to kind of limit the three-point attempts and get downhill?
No, I know I probably should. It's just, you ever see the movie Along Came Polly? Man, this generation is unbelievable. Watch that movie. You will see a scene in that movie of the reason why I tell my team not to shoot. It's my favorite scene of any movie.
Can you describe the scene a little bit?
It's Ben Stiller and the young man that died, the blonde hair guy. Who? Philip Seymour. Yeah. They're playing 2-on-2 basketball in the park, and Philip Seymour keeps on shooting the basketball and keeps hitting the backboard, throws it over the backboard, keeps missing. And every time he shoots it, he says, "Let it rain." And ever since I saw that movie, I would make sure I'd never tell one of my players never to shoot the basketball, because if Philip Seymour had that much confidence, then I got to make sure my guys have that much confidence. But it's a great movie.
I'll watch it.
I mean, that's all you guys do is Netflix and all that stuff, correct? You probably don't even have cable, do you? No.
Definitely not.
think I'm the only guy that still has cable in this room. You have cable? Yeah, yeah, you better have cable.
Family does at home.
See, there you go. That counts. See, I'm learning a lot about everybody.
I'm good on that, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll ask my question. I guess what have you guys done to kind of clean up the turnovers issue the last couple games?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we've really been selective of who's pushing who's pushing tempo. We've put the ball in Jahmir's hands a whole lot more, and Jahari's hands on the break, which has slowed us down a little bit. But at the same time, it's made decision making a little bit easier for everybody else. I just thought we were wasting way too many possessions in transition with too many people trying to make decisions. So it's really our transition offense. We've kind of made it a little bit simpler, just trying to keep guys, not as many guys handling the ball. More or less putting the ball in Jahmir's hands.
Just curious, what's kind of your approach when you're playing a team twice? Like how much do you look at the previous game? And how much, I don't know, I'm just kind of curious how that works.
So I'm still trying to figure out the league. So a lot. I look at the last game a lot. I also depends, it's different. Different opponents do different things. So, like Providence would play me man-to-man the first game, but I always knew Ed would play zone the second game. Jay wouldn't switch pick and rolls one of the games. I just never knew which way. Michigan played us much more zone than we saw the first game, which kind of threw me off for a loop. I think Greg's a little bit more, I think Greg's going to stick with his game plan and do what Greg does. So I think for Wisconsin, I'll watch a lot more. Even though I watch, Northwestern, I've watched the last 4 games. I'll go more off how we played and what they did against us, because I don't think, they're so steady at what they do. But I'm still trying to, Juwan threw me off a little bit. Their zone kind of got them back in the game. I didn't think they were going to play that much zone. So I still think I'm still learning the guys a little bit, but I do feel Wisconsin's you just know kind of what you're getting. You're getting an unbelievably well-coached team, and Greg's teams are so well defensively, so I don't think they're going to change that much. I think it does. I think that's what's great about when you play doubles. You kind of get the other players. You kind of form. Kind of goes back to, I forget who asked the question of, do the players know the first loss? It's kind of like when you play everybody twice, it kind of, you build a rival within the league. That's the only tough thing about having a big league is you don't get to build those kind of whether it's within players, positions, and then within teams. So, but it definitely does make it easier for, how we're going to play them. Yes.
Coach Emily kind of touched on it earlier in her first question, but 3 games at home right in the middle of your conference season. How important is it for you guys to capitalize off of 3 games in a row at home? And what are you hoping out of the next 3-game stretch?
Yeah,
make you feel good about the last 9 games in the season?
No, I still never put too much emphasis on one loss or one win, not with this many games left. It's not, no matter what, if we go 2-3, 1-2, or whatever it is, 3-0, we still have a monster amount of games left in this conference. So I never put that pressure. They're not feeling pressure that we have to come out and, I want us to keep playing well. I think we've made really good strides, especially on the road battling. Getting down 14, we got down 16 at Iowa, cut to 3, got down 14 at Purdue. So I just want to see us keep making really good strides in conference play. That's really all I'm focused on.
Coach, you mentioned that not putting too much emphasis on one win or one loss, but what point of the season where you start to truly look into the conference standings and where you guys play? Is it something you always?
No, we're there. Let's not. I think we're 8 games in, so we have 12 left. So you're kind of at that point. After 12 games is really kind of where you're, in my opinion, on a 20 game conference schedule is kind of where really after 12, every game, win or loss, really matters huge. I mean, every game matters in the conference play. The first 2 December games were huge, but it's kind of like, I think you're still in that part of the schedule where you always have a chance to get on a run, if that makes sense. Go ahead.
Wisconsin's about to play their second road game in 3 days. Just knowing how difficult that is, does that kind of change your approach?
No, because again, I think Wisconsin's one of those unique teams where they know what they're going to do, and we know what they're going to do. They played a really good. Northwestern's really good. That was a really good basketball game last night. So I don't think those guys, Chucky and those guys, those are old veteran guys that have been together. I think that's a big difference. This is a veteran basketball team that knows each other. It's been together. Talented players, great coaching, and a team that's been together. I don't see it affecting them at all. Thank you.
Jahmir, against Purdue, you did a better job in getting to the basket in the second half compared to the first half. Kind of like what changed? Like, was it like you kind of got adjusted to the way Purdue was playing you? Like, what changed for you to get to the lane a lot better?
I would just say we just moved the ball side to side, just trying to get them chasing us, long closeouts. It's easier for me to get in the lane and then create for others. So I feel like we was a little stagnant in the first half, where I would try to do a lot more off the dribble instead of off the catch. And I feel like that was the difference.
And I believe that, like, over the past 4 games, you guys have really had a greater emphasis in terms of getting to the basket of the paint. You're still taking 3-point shots, but it's just more of an emphasis again to the rim. How important has that been for your off the offensive success?
Yeah, it's been very important. Just getting into the lane and then finding each other, it makes it easier for each other and for ourselves. Just getting more efficient shots, getting closer in the lane. We're struggling from the 3, so just trying to get closer to the lane, trying to get easy buckets as much as possible.
And for your game in particular, is that something, like you said, is like a strong suit of you, like get into the rim off the dribble?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a smaller guard, so just being a little quicker have a quicker first step than others is one of my strengths. So just trying to use that to my advantage and get in there either to create for myself or for my teammates.
Coach just talked about how important your game, specifically you and Jahari, is to getting out in transition against a team like Wisconsin that likes to slow the game down. You kind of saw that in the first matchup. Do you feel any added responsibility to kind of ignite the offense?
That's how we're supposed to play every game. Sorry. So just trying to focus on that, focus on our tempo, trying to speed the game up and play at our pace instead of their pace is something that we're going to try to do tomorrow.
Coach told us that he shows you guys Ken Palm and bracketology stuff to kind of try to let you know like what's ahead of you. What does that do for you guys as players?
It helps us, value possessions on both sides of the floor just a little bit more. I mean, we value them pretty well now, but just knowing where we're standing in, whether that's defensive efficiency or offensive efficiency, and then just trying to, do better in those categories in order for us to be successful. And then looking back to where we were, say when we had the 8-0 start, we were high in the defensive efficiency and offensive efficiency. So we got to get back to that.
Jahmir, what does it mean for you guys to be back home, to have the students back, to have the blackout, to have that atmosphere for this stretch of games?
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. Our fans are great, and we're happy to, be back in classes and for the students to be back. So I feel like the energy is going to be there. It's going to be loud, and it's definitely going to help us secure the win.
For Julian, these last 2 games, not only have you been able to compete against 2 of the best bigs in all of the country, but you've been able to stay on the floor even with foul trouble or avoiding foul trouble as a whole. Do you feel yourself building confidence throughout these past 2 games and then going into the stretch at home? How would you assess your confidence level right now?
Yeah, I feel like confidence is definitely increasing within every game. You know, Iowa had a good game first half, came out a little slow second half, but other games like just confidence is building. Playing against guys of such skill level and highly touted in the nation, I feel like just me competing good and holding my own against those guys definitely helped my confidence.
Start with Jahmir. Where do you guys think you're at right now? You've run the gamut this year so far, right? The wins, the losses, home, away. Where do you feel like this team is at? Coach talked about the resiliency. Where do you think this team is at right now?
I feel like we're in a good spot where we need to be. We had a tough stretch on the road, but now we have 3 consecutive games at home, and I just feel like it's a great opportunity for us to build confidence going into February, and I feel like we have a good chance of winning due to the fact that our resiliency and the fact that we just was able to compete and really grind out with Purdue.
Julian, is that the biggest thing you see too, whether it's coming off a loss or just the resiliency of this team? Where do you see that playing in with the squad?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we definitely got heart. We play with a lot of passion. You know, going neck and neck and going blow for blow with a team such as Purdue, such highly touted number 3 in the country. I feel like that shows a lot of our character and our growth since other games on the road like Michigan, where we kind of like went out there, laid the egg a little bit, kind of played bad. I feel like that just shows improvement, and I feel like next road game will show more improvement.
Julian back here. Excuse me. I know it was a loss on Sunday, but for you personally, where's your game at right now? I mean, coming out of that game, you talked about the confidence already, but assess where your game is at right now.
I feel like it's improving steadily. Like for other games, like building off this game, I feel like just having a scoring game like that just shows different ways I can score in the bigger opponents. Like Zach Edey, like y'all know how tall he is, how like big and wide he is. That just shows me like teaching me ways to score around guys, go use my speed against guys, and it just teaches me different ways to play against guys like that. Again, like not fouling, things like that, and being physical without fouling. I feel like I did good with that.
I guess this is a question for Julian. Are you, I guess, kind of maybe I'm asking other people's questions a little differently, but are you doing personally anything different to be scoring more points against some, I guess, the best centers, or like playing better with foul trouble, or like not picking up like the next foul to make you go to the bench?
Oh yeah, I feel like it ties into defense. Defensively, when I'm playing without fouls, I tend to play more confident. Playing with fouls, I play less aggressive. You know, playing more tentative, play a little bit more laid back. I feel like the fouls just help me more in the offensive end as of lately.
Coach said you guys all watched tape of the Wisconsin game from December. You just beat Michigan, the only other team you've played twice this season. Do you guys have an approach to playing a team for the second time?
I mean, yeah, learn from the first time. They handed us our first loss, so also keeping that in the back of our minds, and then really just trying to take care of what really hurt us, really the back cuts and, you know, the post-ups and, you know, getting in foul trouble. So we worked on it today, and I feel like we can use that and put it in the game tomorrow.
Have either of you seen A Long Came Follow?
Yeah. Coach was mentioning that movie.
No, I haven't.
No.
Well, we've got homework.
Yeah.